got these two industrial size fuses. It's just like a big fuse. Comes off the hydro lines. I found them a long time ago. It was probably about a year ago. I found them sitting like at the bottom of a hydro line. Like a hydro pole at the bottom of the pole, just sitting there. So I left them, and I came back months later again, walking the dog again, and they were still sitting there. So I brought them back with me, and I've had them stored in the shop for at least like 6 months now. Figured I might as well go ahead and make a video of taking them apart, see exactly how much copper and brass is in this thing. These end pieces are brass. I thought it was copper at first, but this one here, I scratched it a little bit, and it looks like it's brass. That's a better spot. So, I think it's brass. This stuff here kind of looks like copper, but it's actually like a weird material, like fiberglass or something. I chipped at it with an axe to see what it was made out of. This part here, all these scrapes are from the vise, because I put it in the vise and tried to twist this part, tried to twist it off, and it's not budging at all, so I'm gonna have to try to cut it, I think. First I'm gonna stick a wedge of some sort in here, like a chisel, and I hit it with a hammer, try to knock this piece off, and try it on both sides, see if it works. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to cut it, probably like the whole way down with the grinder. So first step, I'll try to knock this off with the chisel and hammer, see what happens, then I'll update you after that. Also, while I was looking at this thing, trying to figure out how to take it apart, looking inside, this part here I tried to untwist, and the whole thing untwists. Take it right out so you can see. The thing kept twisting, so I had to hold it with my feet. So that's a solid piece of brass, pretty heavy. So I'm gonna just put it in a couple threads just so it sits there for now. Pull it out after. The other side, it's brass as well. It goes down in there pretty far. And there's like a spring with a piece of brass on it. It looks like a tube on the other side of that, so go ahead and use the hammer and chisel. If it starts to come off, I'll show you. If not, I'll pull out the grinder, start cutting at it. I'm doing this at home on my balcony because it's cold out and it's easier and funner to do it at home, more comfortable than it is to do it at the shop. So I tried to use the chisel and the hammer. It's coming off a little bit, but it's cutting into it quite a bit too, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use the grinder, cut a little slit so it has some like relieve some pressure, and hopefully it should just slide off. This shit is wedged in here really good. This is a piece that was on the top, managed to get it out. I think it's brass, not 100% sure, I'll have to check. This looks like copper. This part still doesn't want to come off. I think if I hit it a bit more, might be able to get it to pop off, but for the rest of it, I think it might be better off just to cut this whole tube, try to split it open. So I'll update you in a bit once I get it finished, or at least further along. Some weird colored dust. It's just this like fiberglass stuff. So it might be poisonous dust for me to breathe in, I don't know. Cut the whole way. Finish cutting through that brass after, once I see if this is working out. I'm gonna go ahead and try to start splitting it apart. Hopefully we'll get some of this metal out of here. I literally cut the damn thing right in half on both sides. And I cut a slot down this side, and I cut a slot down the other side as well. And it still didn't want to come off. I had to literally snap it. Just brute force with the hammer and the chisel and the crowbar. I literally just snapped it right off. There's one half, that's the other half. I guess it goes this way. So you can see that part in the center is like that fiberglass type stuff. And it seems to be like soldered in place, squished in between the two layers. So I still have to try to pull this stuff out. Just hit it with the hammer a couple times. So I think this is as far as I'm gonna get it. It's literally like some fiberglass. I don't know what this exactly it is, but it's like fiberglass on the outside, and then on the inside it's like a brass tube, and then a couple, looks like 2 copper tubes or something as well. So that's the bottom of it. I had to cut it to get this part off. This is the casing, rock hard. It was super hard to get off too. Must not be designed to come apart. So the rest of this, I don't know how I'm going to get apart, or if I'm going to try to get it apart. If you know how to get it apart, definitely let me know. Thought about maybe trying to burn it, throw it in a fire, but because it's an electrical fuse, I think it's going to be fireproof. So I think that's it for this video. Just these pieces of brass. Those, well, I guess this one piece was brass too. Came out, fell right out while I was hitting it with the hammer with this spring. The spring is steel. Surprisingly, this bar is all brass. I grinded on it right there to check. So just these couple pieces. I'll throw this on the scale so you can see how much it weighs quick. So it's weighing in ounces. Just gonna put it all together for now. £4, 4 ounces, 4 1/4 pounds. I guess all of it's going to be going as brass. This actually looks like a piece of copper, so that one piece I'll put for copper. The rest is just going to have to be brass because I can't get it separated from the copper, so I'll put it all as brass. 9 ounces of this #1 copper, I guess. Doesn't look like there's any solder on there, so that's pretty good. That's how much this thing weighs as it is. This is the other one. It's an older one that I haven't touched yet. 10 pounds, 3 ounces. So I'll probably do the same as I did with this to this one. It's a lot quicker if I just cut all the way through. Don't worry about trying to pry it so much, just cut all the way through and then use the chisel and hit down, try to knock the casing off. So hopefully this one I can get done in less time, and still a decent chunk of brass and copper from one piece. I don't know how. I forgot this one piece outside. So an extra half of a pound. That's pretty good. Put it all back on here quick. £4, 12 ounces. It's almost 5 pounds. So this thing's almost 50% brass and copper. Just a lot of work to take apart. Crazy.